Amma, what?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session number 2. So we will start our session in next 2 minutes. I'm waiting for another participant to attend it. And meanwhile, I have allowed all of you for recording. You can record in your own system as well. So let's start today's session. Yeah. So in our last session, that is in our yesterday's session, we discussed about the training syllabus and SAP servers, right? And SAP career opportunities for different consultants like functional consultants, technical consultants, and technological consultants. And we also discussed briefly about module, where we discuss about the module functionalities, and we discuss about procure to pay cycle, inventory management, and invoice verification. So this was discussed in brief. Right, so because for each one there is a separate topic where we will be discussing in detail later on. So these these are the topics which were covered in session number 1. In today's session, I will be discussing in detail about SAP business suites, because these are very common business suites, and you see the companies are still using these business suites. That is the reason why we need to understand what are these business suites, right? And what is the difference, the delta changes and all. And besides this, we will also discuss about the system architecture, SAP system architecture, right? Where we will be discussing technical architecture as well as the landscape architecture. And if time permits, we will also start SAP user interfaces like graphical user interface and Fiori apps. And we will discuss in detail about the transaction course and SAP database tables, right? So any question related to whatever we discussed in our last session, because I have already shared documents related to this one. If you people have any questions, please go ahead and you can ask if you have any question related to whatever we discussed in session number 1 before we jump to today's topic. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and we can discuss the question in case you have any question or queries. Right, it seems everything is fine. Now let's move to the topics which we will be discussing in today's session. So let's try to understand these business suites which are very commonly used, right? So as yesterday we discussed, SAP S/4HANA is the latest business suite, right? And before that it was ECC, and before ECC it was R3. So now let's understand what is the difference, what new functionalities are added and all these things. Now starting with this one, right? I think it was explained briefly yesterday. Now in detail I'm going to discuss this one. So SAP launched its first software with the name R1 in 1973, and they upgraded to R2 in 1979, and then they developed R3 business suite in 1992. So you can see that this R3, the terminology is still being used, right? So this is R3 stands for 3-tier architecture ERP solution. Okay, and then later on in 2004 they launched another business suite, SAP ERP. So you will come to know the terms like SAP ERP, which stands for SAP Enterprise Resource Planning, right? So that is, and even in this one they have 2 versions like SAP ECC 5.0 and SAP ECC 6.0. Okay, and later on in 2015 they came up with a cloud solution with SAP HANA, right? So, and the latest version of HANA is 1909. So now let's try to understand all these in detail. R3, right? So SAP R3, this is the software name. In SAP terminology, it is the SAP Business Suite, right? So it is the R3 SAP real-time system with 3-tier architecture. That is the meaning of SAP R3. So we can see this 3-tier architecture, right? You see in the first tier, this is the presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. In order to understand, we need to go to the system architecture, right? So SAP system architecture. So SAP system architecture follows a 3-tier architecture containing presentation, application, and a database layer. You can see, you see, this is the 3-tier architecture. It contains the presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. So same architecture is available in R3, ECC, and S/4HANA. Okay, the same architecture is used in all 3 business suites, right? So it is used in ECC, R3, ECC, as well as S/4HANA. That is the reason why it is important for us to understand this architecture. So each of these layer has its own software component. With this setup, the overall system can be distributed among a range of computers, or it can also be in one system like mini SAP, which has all these components in one computer. A common configuration includes wherein the database and application server run concurrently in a single large computer. All the other application servers run on their computers. So high level architecture of an SAP system comprise of technical architecture and landscape architecture. So we will first discuss about the technical architecture. Now let's go to this one. It represents, it shows the technical architecture. It shows like the presentation layer, application layer, and the database layer. Let's discuss in detail about these layers. Okay, now we see the presentation layer. This is the view you see when you log in into SAP from your computer, right? For example, like you see, when we try to access, I think there is, okay, it will connect automatically in some time, right? This is the view you see when you log in into SAP from your computer. You see here, this it is showing the SAP GUI, right? So using the GUI, we access the application. So this layer is called as the presentation layer. So this is the presentation layer that has been generated. The SAP GUI software components ensure that the SAP system user interface is shown and that the user's actions are passed to the application server for further processing. Okay, so that is the significance of presentation layer. Now you see, now I'm trying to access the SAP using the GUI, that is graphical user interface, the full form of GUI. Now you see, using username and user and password, I'm accessing the SAP. Now you see, this is the presentation layer from where we try to access the SAP. Okay, so we will be discussing in detail about the GUI as well in today's session. Right, so this is the presentation layer from where we will be accessing the SAP. Now moving on to the second layer, which is application layer. The application layer is the one where the entire work is carried out. All your actions, all your actions are processed at this place. This software component can have one or more than one based on the requirements and the processing needs of each and every organization. The application server provides a range of services for the operation of the SAP system. The application server processes are carried out through work processes. This is defined at the start of the SAP system. The work processes are a component that are available to execute an application. One thing to note here is that each work process is registered as a user in the database system for the entire runtime of the system. So this is all a technical thing, right? So we as a functional consultant should know what are these layers and what is the significance, right? So rest of the things are taken care by the technical consultants, right? And now move on to the database layer. What is the purpose of having this database layer? So each SAP system architecture will have a central database in which the entire data is stored. Everything like the customer records, programs, just about anything which needs to be stored is maintained at this level, right? And another important point, when we compare ECC with S4HANA, so in S4HANA, SAP has its own database with a name HANA database. And in ECC, database of other companies were used like Oracle and other databases. Okay, but in HANA, only HANA database is used. Okay, and now right? So that is the technical architecture we were discussing. Now let's move to the, okay, right. So now you see it also represents the technical architecture, three-tier architecture or server architecture. Here, the presentation layer, which we were discussing, by using the GUI, we access the application layer, and this GUI is part of the presentation layer. So the presentation layer, you see the user enters data here in the using the presentation layer, or in the presentation layer, users enter the data, provides graphical screen to user enters data on the screen, shows process data to the user. For example, you see here, let me go to the purchase order. Now you see the screen to create the purchase order, right? So here the users, they enter the vendor number, they enter the material number and all. So that is the meaning of this sentence which I am trying to explain. User enters data on the screen, shows process data to the user, meaning in order to create the purchase order, the user enters the all required fields. As soon as the required fields, if they would like to generate the purchase order, then the system will generate the purchase order. So that is the meaning of this one, shows the process data to the user, right? And then this information passed on to the application layer, where process data using application logic. So the data which is entered in the presentation layer, that data is processed in this layer using the application logic, right? And then communicate with both layers, all right? And it read and write from database, right? So you see it is processing data. And then this is now moved to the database layer, where store and this layer actually stores the data. Whatever data is generated after doing the transactions, that data is stores in this layer, so database layer. So as I was telling, in SAP S/4HANA, this HANA database is used, and in SAP ECC, Oracle or other databases were used, right? But in SAP S/4HANA, only HANA database is used, right? And you see here, it stores and provides data, right, from here. And then again, request data from database, and then it goes to the presentation layer. And finally, the presentation layer shows all the details, all the information which the business users try to get this one. And it also explains the same thing: presentation layer, application layer, and the database layers. You see, it is showing like a hard this one drive like this, right? So this is the presentation layer. You can see this also explains the same thing: presentation layer, right? It shows systems, then application layer, and database processes. So this is the technical architecture. Now let's discuss about the landscape architecture, or the system, SAP system landscape. Okay. In this one, the SAP system landscape is defined as an arrangement of SAP servers. Ideally, in a SAP environment, a three system landscape is exist. So the three system landscape is the standard system landscape, right? Even two system landscape and four system landscapes are also available. It entirely depends on the company which is implementing the SAP or using the SAP. Okay. And yeah, so it entirely depends on that one, right? So we will be discussing in detail about this one as well. So first, try to understand a system landscape consists of, in case of three system landscapes, there are three servers. In case of four system landscape, four servers. Okay, so it depends how many servers they would like to use, right? So what are these servers? What are the functionalities of these servers? We will be discussing in detail. Now you see here the three system landscape architecture. You see development server, quality server, and production server, right? So I'm talking about these three systems, one systems, two systems, and three, one first, second, and third. You see, three systems are being used. That is the reason why it is called as three system landscape. Even the companies can use two system landscape where they will have only two systems, and in one system development and quality servers, one system will have the development and quality, and another of course the production server. Okay, so let me allow one person for recording. Yeah, right. Now let's try to understand what is development server, quality server, and production server. Right, so you see here the development server, which is also known as development server or development system, right? So, right, you see, and it is actual. It will have the SAP ECC access as well as IMG, right? So it will have the different clients like development client, configuration client, and testing client. So we will see what are these clients as well, right? So you see the present. And every server, you see, they will have the three-tier architecture: the presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. Every server has this one. Again, every server has the virtual partitions, like in our system, in our computer, like we see in our hard disk is divided into three drives, right? So our one system has three drives because our hard disk is divided into three drives. So similarly, the servers are also divided into different sections, or this one for different purposes. Those are called as the client. Here in our language, we call them as hard disk is divided into different drives. Similarly, in SAP, it is called as the system has different clients based on the requirements, right? So you see the configuration client, ABAP development and unit testing client, the development client, development server has these three clients, and the quality server has integration testing client and cross module client, and this is the production system which has only the production client server, production client, right? So if we try to let's discuss in detail about these systems. So here I just mentioned in detail about this one, what is the purpose of having in this one. So as we all know, the business users, whatever they do, their business activities on daily basis, so they use this production system, and whatever they do, for example, they want to create the purchase order, or they want to do the good receipt, or they want to send the request for quotation, or whatever, from point of view I'm talking, right? So whatever they will do in this production system, okay, they will directly do in the production system, right? Now talking about the functional consultants, whatever they do the configuration as per the requirement, they do the configuration in the configuration client of the development server. Okay, so whatever, because what happened, why it is not allowed, because the confidential information is available in the production system, right? So it is not allowed to access that confidential information. That is the reason why the development this yeah. Yeah, Mr. Sharma, I think there is a background noise. Can you please mute? Yeah, thank you. Right. So the business users, whatever they do, whatever they do their business activities like creating purchase orders, doing the good receipt, invoicing, whatever, even other modules, other departments, whatever they do. So they do all these activities in the production client, which is under the production server or the production system, right? And as per the business requirements, the configurations, the customization, all that is done in the development system and in different clients. For example, the configuration which is done by the functional consultants, it is done in the configuration client. You see the development done by the ABAP consultants, it is done in the development client. And then after configuration and development, some unit testings are carried out here, right? Once the unit testing is successful, then it is again transported to the quality system for integration testing and cross module application analysis. If this is successful, then finally it is moved to the production system. So the access to the production system, only the business users will have access to the production system, right? The functional consultants or the development technical consultants will not have access to the production system to carry out the business transactions, because the business transactions are carried out by the business users, right? And even like sometime if it is required, then these consultants will have the firefighting access. Okay, that is the exceptional case, but generally the access is not given to the different consultants to this system. This is only for the business users, right? So whatever the configuration and customization after testing and approval, it is transported to the production system, right? So this is called as the system three system landscape, right? So and talking about this one, yeah, so some details I have provided here, right? You see the development client, configuration client, and testing client, which I was just explaining here. So there are, the numbers are assigned to them. There says 3 character numbers are assigned to them. So these are the numbers which are generally used for development client. You see the number, for example, let me close this one. Yes, when I try to access SAP, it is showing this client. You see the client number. This is the 800 number, right? So similarly, each client is assigned a number. So there is a number range or the sequence which is assigned. So normally for the clients which are under development server, they are assigned 100 number, series, like development client 100, configuration client 110 or 20, then the testing client 130. So note the SAP SPRO transactions, configuration and customization, which is actually done by the functional consultants, are done in the development server, right? So I was explaining the same thing. The configuration and customizations are done in the development server. In some cases, Gold client is deployed as development client as well as the configuration client. Only implementation partner is authorized to access development server, and customer or the client is not authorized to access, because this is all related to customization and development. So the business users, they will not have anything related to them. So that is the reason why the business users will not have access to this development server, the consultants will not have access to the production server, right? So only the business users will have access to the production server. Only consultants will have access to this development server, right? And yeah, only implementation partner, in case like, if we take the example of Tata Groups or the Tata Motors, if they would like to implement SAP, so they will be taking the services of service-based companies like Accenture, Infosys, TCS, and other companies, right? Which provides IT services. So they will be working as implementation partner for that company, right? Even if without taking the services, they can hire the SAP consultants, and they can have their own SAP team, right? So we can say that the access to the development server is given only to the SAP team, not to others. Right now, the quality assurance server or quality assurance or testing system. So this one I'm talking about the quality assurance and the testing system. So in this server, only different types of testings are carried out. Okay. So let me take you through this one as well. So what normally what testings are carried out here. So in this one, right, so normally two clients are created under this server, right? One is integration testing client and the training client, right? So like I'm providing you the training, like, so similarly, the training client is created there, okay? And testing is done to evaluate the output and compare with the business requirements, right? So the development and configurations are done by the SAP functional consultants as per the business requirement, right? So whatever the configuration and customization which are done as per the requirement, it is tested here, whether it is fulfilling the requirements or not, right? So testing is done to evaluate the output and compare with the business requirements, based on which the configuration and customization was done. Training is done for end users here, right? Using the training client, right? So like I'm using 800 client, right? So normally 800 series is assigned to the training client, right? You see, using this client, I'm providing you the training, right? So here, all right, only implementation partner is authorized to access the development server, and client is not authorized to access it. Talking about the production server, or which is called prod, or production or live system, it is also known as the live system. It has two clients. Sometimes it may have, generally it has one client. Sometimes it may, as per the requirement, two clients can be created within this one, like pre-production client is also created within this one, right? So one is pre-production, another one is production client. So two clients are created. This server contains only one client most of the time, that is the production client. All business transactions are maintained in this server. So whatever the business transactions done by the business users, like from FICO point of view, like accounts receivable, accounts payable, from point of view, purchasing, good receipt, from sales point of view, issuing the commercial invoice, creating the sales order against the purchase order of the customer, all that, whatever they do to carry out the business transactions, all that is done here. Only end client or the company which is actually using the SAP or implementing the SAP is authorized to access this server, because for example, like in our case, Tata Motors, if we are implementing SAP for the Tata Motors, then Tata Motor is our company, right? So only the Tata Motors company, the staff working under the Tata Motors will have access to this system, okay? Right. Only end client, the company is authorized to access this server, and implementation partner, right, or the like technical and functional consultants are not authorized to access it, because it contains the confidential information related to the business. That is the reason why the companies don't allow other people to access it, right? This system is disabled for customization. So here the customization cannot be done, the configuration cannot be done, the development cannot be done. So all that is done in the development server, and then it is transported to the quality server, and then from quality server, after successful testing and approval, it is moved to the production server, right? So this is the purpose of, you know, these servers, to have the confidential data in one server, to have the configuration and customization in another server, and to do the testing and training in one server. So that is the purpose and significance of all these different servers, and right, and yeah, depending on the requirement of a company, there can be different types of landscape. So here I was explaining three system landscape because it has three systems. So they may have, right, depending on the requirement of a company, there can be different types of landscape, like three system landscape. This is the standard landscape which is being used, right? And four system landscape is also used in very big companies. They use the four systems. They will have, you know, instead of three systems, they will have four systems. And then even small companies, they will use the two system landscape, because as the number of systems increases, their IT infrastructure, investment will also increases, right? So that is the reason why the standard practice is the 3-system landscape. Okay. Landscapes are named 2, 3, and 4 depending on the number of servers it holds. Like it holds 3, that is the reason why it's a 3-system landscape. So now you see, we just discuss about the SAP system landscape, right? So any question related to system landscape? Any question, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I would like to know that.
Hello.
Hello, I am audible to you, sir.
Yes, now Shadab. Yeah, I am audible to you.
Okay. Sir, I have heard in that in the quality server there is one client that is known as a golden client.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to know more about it. That what is it and what is the purpose of that client in our server?
Yeah, you see here, I was talking about the same here. In some cases, golden client is deployed as the development client. Okay, development as well as the configuration client, right? So in one client, development as well as the configuration is carried out if it is with a golden client name. Otherwise, these are 3 clients which are created for different purposes. So these clients are nothing but like our drives. In our hard disk we have different drives. Similarly, you see in our system we have in our hard disk we have 3 drives. So C drive is allocated for only for the whatever the programs or applications we have, those are saved here. And then we have C drive and D drives for different purposes. So similarly in SAP, so there is a purpose for every client in every system. So they have the development client for only development, that is ABAP programming, and then which is used by the ABAP consultants. Then the configuration client, it is for configuration and customization, which is used by the functional consultants. And then that some unit testings are carried out in this one. So as far as golden client is concerned, here you see in some cases golden client is deployed as development client as well as the configuration client. I think you could ask about the quality system, right?
Yes, sir. In the quality server.
Yeah, in the quality server, normally 2 clients are created, one for integration testing, another for training. So normally these 2 clients are created. You ask about the golden client. So golden client is normally created in the development server for the purpose of development as well as the configuration.
Okay, sir.
I believe that answer your question.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And the second question is, sir, what is the difference between pre-production client and that post-production client?
Yeah,
in the production server.
Good question. So here in some time what happened, currently you see in the production system, it is showing only production client, right? So in the production system, sometime they may have pre-production system and the production system. In pre-production system, whatever, whatever the functionalities, even after doing some kind of testings and all that one, even it is verified in the pre-production system and then move to the production system. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is the purpose of having the pre-production system.
It means just you are doing just the cross verification, whatever the data we retrieve from that quality server, right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Because as the name itself says, the production meaning is this is the live data or live where the actual business transactions are carried out. Pre-production, it is just before production, whatever the configuration, all testings, it is again verified here.
Yes, right.
To be safe side. So in that case, what happened? Even in case of 4-system landscape, they may have the 3rd system as production system and 3rd system as pre-production and 4th system as production, right? In this way.
Right.
So,
yes.
Right. So now we will take 10 minutes break and then we will again rejoin, right? If session ends, please rejoin after 10 minutes. Okay. session ends automatically, then we will join after 10 minutes. Let's take a 10 minutes break.